Hi, welcome to this episode of Stop Normalizing Abuse vlog with Nita Kruger of Infinity Within. I am really proud of you for showing up today. Sometimes just the act of showing up and exposing our mind to ideas that are new to us is one of the most powerful and courageous things that we can do in our healing journey, because there is such an overwhelming fear of the unknown as we begin to challenge our normals. Today, I want to talk to you specifically about how abusers can gain traction, how narcissistic relationships or personalities can actually be empowered by uneducated speakers, accidentally going to marriage counseling, right? Who wouldn't agree to go to marriage counseling? Well, if you're pushing for it as the healing individual and you're pushing for it in a toxic relationship and your spouse is saying, absolutely not, absolutely not, absolutely not. Well, you have somebody telling you, I'm not willing to change, I'm fully right, you're completely wrong, and I'm not interested in it. That's a major sign. That's a huge red flag, right? It doesn't matter if they're narcissists or bipolar or this or that. It doesn't actually matter. What matters is they're telling you, I'm not going to do anything to change. So you get on the program and you accept and enjoy how I am, and you show up how I need you to show up because your needs don't matter. So that's a great big message in itself right there, right? But that doesn't necessarily empower them to be worse unless they amp it up. As I experienced, if they amp it up just to try to push you back into line, back into place, stop asking questions, stop bringing those ideas into our home, ideas of kindness, love, respect, humanity, right? I was going kind of on like, no more gaslighting, no more breadcrumbing, no more, no more, no more. So if you're experiencing that, then, take that for what it is and start looking at ways that you can reach out for broader supports and creating an exit plan, because quite honestly, they're not going to grow with you. But if you have somebody who's trying to prove they're not an abuser, they're not a narcissist, they are not a dominant, dark personality who's trying to create, put you into a box and keep you in the box, and they are the only ones who gets to open the little trap on the box. If you have somebody who's trying to prove you wrong, they will invite you to marriage counseling, because they know that marriage counselors are not required to have trauma training. They are required to create an equitable 50-50 split. 50-50. Okay, there's no 50-50 in abuse. There's none. There's none. There's no split in abuse. There is a massive power imbalance in abuse. That's why it's called abuse. And it doesn't matter if it's emotional, physical, psychological, uh, digital, financial, sexual, reproductive. Yes, reproductive abuse occurs. So if somebody is saying, oh yeah, like you have all these gut feelings and you just feel like, oh, this is just really like, I feel like I'm being crazy, I'm being gaslit, you're starting to explore and wonder what's actually happening. And somebody comes to you, your partner comes to you and says, oh, sure, I'll go to marriage counseling. That is kind of a reverse red flag, because they know that no matter what comes in front of that marriage counselor is going to say things that are going to, like, literally feed the narcissist, right? So your gut intuition is so important, and surrounding yourself with tools, people, places, and even things like books and resources and articles and online support communities that normalize how you're feeling, right? That bring you down out of the clouds of fear and feeling insane, but actually help you to get grounded in your own self. Surrounding yourself by those is going to help you to trust your gut and your intuition if your abusive partner does want to go to marriage counseling. Now, you could just have a partner who isn't gaslighting you and who's just, facing their own traumas, and they don't have the skills and tools to handle their emotions. And, it's okay to go, okay, I'm open to the idea of marriage counseling, but before we do that, I'd like for us to each have 3 months of individual counseling so that we can learn how to have a better understanding of ourselves, and that we can come then together to learn how to be a better couple. Because whatever's going to come out in individual counseling, for one, a narcissist isn't going to stick with a true trauma-aware therapist for that long. They're not, because they're not going to be able to manipulate them, control them, and get the answers they want. They're going to be fed a healthy dose of self-accountability, which they can't handle. Mirrors reflecting back what they're showing, they can't handle. They are going to be held to a standard of showing up that they can't handle and they can't continue. Okay? So it is incredibly important that before you go to marriage counseling, or trust an online coach or figure, that you literally know whether or not they have any trauma experience. Because I was watching, all the things that pop up on your feeds, and I saw a very popular, I'm going to call it skit actor, trauma skit actor, pop up on my feed. And I enjoy this person's stuff. It's funny. It's funny. It's relatable. It's funny. But they're kind of getting out of their lane because they're talking about infidelity. That's where their expertise comes in. Relationships, emotions, staying committed. But now they're talking about narcissists. And here's what caught me with just massive in the head, as this would feel a narcissist if they are in your life and they come to you and they say, oh, well, Bob online says I'm not a narcissist. Here's the 30-second clip. Look, that's going to, if you're kind of new in your journey, if you're even just a year into dealing with PTSD and all of the chaos that's storming and brewing in your nervous system, having your abuser come to you and say, Bob says, see right here, I messaged him and I said, well, my family thinks I'm a narcissist, but I don't think I am. What do you think? Well, this person doesn't know you at all. Yet they've created a 30-second reel that says, hey, just because all these narcissists are reaching out to me saying, hey, everybody in my life says, I think you're a narcissist, because you're reaching out and you're asking me about it, you're not. And I'm positive. Well, I call bullshit on that. That is a dangerous, dangerous thing that will actually feed and fuel the narcissist and can actually increase and ramp up the abuse happening behind closed doors. So if your narcissist, and this has happened to me before, if your narcissist comes to you and says, well, Sid over there said I'm not. Okay, well, Sid doesn't live with you. Sid answered one question. Sid doesn't feel insane and have all of the tables turn and constantly feel like knives are being driven into my freaking skull. Sid isn't walking around this house afraid to break the eggshells that are littered everywhere. So bullshit. Be really, really aware of who is bringing trauma advice into your life. I don't have all the answers. If anything, I'm a fantastic recovery conversation coach. I am a fantastic person to tell you this. Get into abuse recovery therapy. Throw a massive web out for help. Get lots of supports under your feet and build a solid foundation that honors your soul. anybody who says they got a message from a bunch of people and claims to be narcissists, or a marriage counselor going 50-50, or a church therapist, or a support group therapy, like, you go to those couples retreat things, although not many narcissists would probably take the time to go to one of those. But if they did, they would do it to be fueled. Because what does a narcissist need? They need to create the validation that, or the chaos or the pain that fuels their emptiness. Okay? So if somebody comes to you, like if your abuser comes to you and says, look, I have this proof, you'll be like, okay, the proof that I'll accept is 3 months every single week of you going to this XYZ therapist. You go to that for 3 months, then we'll go to that therapist together and we'll have some real conversations too. And I'll go to my own, right? That would be showing up for each other in a way that I've never heard of or experienced a narcissistic personality being capable of doing. So be really aware of who is giving you what out there in the world. Okay? You are so freaking worth it. You're so valuable, and you don't likely have a clue. You likely don't have a clue of the beauty of your soul. But that narcissist does. That's why they're there, because you are gorgeous and special and unique and powerful. So build opportunities to increase the trust in your gut, your soul, your heart. Because that is everything that you need in order to thrive. Okay? It's the key. It's the key. Okay. I am super proud of you for showing up. Let's continue the conversation and stop normalizing abuse. Really, honestly, it's just disgusting. It's disgusting how we allow people too much. We allow toxic behavior, and we can change that together by creating a conversation around it. Thanks for showing up today. Choose your advice wisely. If it feels sketchy, then it's sketchy. Trust yourself. I'm Nita Kruger with Infinity Within Coaching. I'll see you next time.